if it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter, but my personal.
What makes him so good in your opinion, Mike? Why does he beat everybody in your opinion?
His attitude. You know, he was the little heavy fat kid and stuff like that, and he wanted to prove himself to the world.
Because I don't think Morrell's going to be able to match Benavidez' volume. You know what I'm saying? With that, you know, he's punching constantly on top of you, and he don't get tired.
David Benavidez has earned a reputation among fighters as an incredibly powerful and skilled force, with many admiring his unyielding pressure, immense strength, and ability to methodically dismantle his opponents.
Benavidez is going to win the fight because I think Benavidez is the truth. I think his skill set is underrated. It's rare that a dude that applies that kind of pressure at that size has that level of hand speed.
In the sport, I'm the #2 most accurate puncher in the sport. I don't really get hit that much. You know what I mean? I don't know why people think.
Teddy Atlas likens Ben L's relentless pressure to that of a buzzsaw, constantly advancing with unyielding determination. He highlights that Benavidez isn't reckless, instead using calculated traps and a well-rounded attack strategy. His body shots gradually drain his opponents, making it harder for them to survive. Atlas views Benavidez as a fighter who combines relentless volume with sharp intelligence, leaving his opponents with no escape.
I think the purer puncher probably is Morrell for one shot. He's the less experienced guy, but he's got that Cuban background, you know, with the amateur pedigree, over 100-something fights. He's got experience. Even though he's got a lot less fights professional, he's got experience. He hasn't fought the resume professionally that Benavidez has, so that's in favor of Benavidez. The experience, always important. But also the pedigree, like I said, where he comes from, Cuba, how, you know, you come from that island that from the beginning when you first put those gloves on, it's all about becoming a world champ. You know, part of it is to escape the communist country, to get to a better life, to get to where you can pursue dreams, to get over here where you can become a world champion. And that is all there. But Benavidez comes from those bloodlines too, where it's all about with him and his father, you know, and his family. It's all about being a champion, staying a champion, being proud, representing yourself in and out of the ring as a champion. The power. Both guys are...
David Benavidez prides himself on his precision, claiming, "I'm the most accurate puncher in boxing." His confidence comes from years of honing his skills, making him a dominant force with unmatched accuracy.
About his sparring partner, what we are talking about is that this Saturday, I'm going to put a beating on David Morrell. And that's how it is.
To you, David, when you imagine the fight, that beating, how does it look? How have you mentally pictured the fight?
I see myself systematically breaking him down. I think I'm just going to overwhelm him with punches. My punches and bunches, it's unlike anybody else in the sport. I'm the #2 most accurate puncher in the sport. I don't really get hit that much. You know what I mean? I don't know why people think I don't have defense and on that. So what I've noticed from my previous fights, when I fight great fighters, when I get in there and they don't have success like they had with other fighters, they get a certain look in their eye like, oh shit, like this guy is really good. And I'm expecting the same thing here. But if I do get put in a position where it's a good competitive fight, I'm ready to go to war. This is what I'm here for. You know, nothing is guaranteed. There's no easy fights here. Nothing is guaranteed. But I'm ready to put my heart and soul in the ring, and I'm ready to put it all in the ring and beat David Morrell, whatever it may take.
Morrell, it comes from the Cuban school. A lot of people say like, hey man, this guy is so technically good. This is a difficult style matchup. Like, what do you make of his Cuban style coming into this fight?
No, but honestly, they've said that against everybody I fight, that they're technically...
David Benavidez insists his rivalry with David Morrell is genuine. "I want to beat him up," he says, pointing to Morrell's trash talk. "He's been running his mouth, and I won't let it slide. I'll prove I'm the better fighter."
You two, in the lead up to this fight, promoting the fight or what have you, a lot of pomp and circumstance usually comes associated with fights where guys look like they might dislike each other, but ultimately in the end, it's just about the professionalism and it's about marketing the fight. You guys seem to have a disdain for one another. How real is that? And if so, why?
Yeah, this is 100% real, and like I said, I want to go in there and break his face, and that's exactly what I intend on doing. David Morrell, you know, he's been calling me out for the past 2 years. He's been talking a lot of trash, you know. So honestly, it doesn't take much for me to get me started. You know, him saying he's gonna knock me out, this and that. You know, I'm in. I want a good fight. I want him to be ready. I want him to back all his words up. You know, so at the end of the day, I got to be the Mexican monster. I got to let these people want.
Analysts predict a victory for David Benavidez over David Morrell, highlighting his relentless pressure, power, and stamina. Though Morrell is talented, Benavidez's experience and control position him as the clear favorite for a dominant.
Morrell is going to put up one hell of a fight. I just think David Benavidez is not what people think he is. I see a highly skilled fighter with good fluidity in his punches and his moves. The guy, to me, is one of the best fighters in the world. And I'm talking about skill-wise. Like, he got fast hands. He throws great flurries. He knows how to break you down systematically. His defense is far better than people give him credit. Him against Oleksandr Volcic, I was like, brother, this guy looks great, right? He just need more time at 175.
Many see Benavidez's physical dominance as a major advantage, especially against opponents with better technique. His relentless pressure, high punch output, and toughness wear opponents down, forcing them to fight at his pace. His ability to overpower and outwork them makes him a dangerous matchup for anyone.
David Benavidez, American, from Arizona, from Phoenix, Arizona. Debut 2013 through 2021. I think he is still fighting. His last fight most likely occurred in 2021. Oh wait, November 13, he's got an upcoming fight versus Jose Uzcatagu, Colombian. But his last one took TKO, took place March 13, 2021. 24. We got another undefeated.
David Morrell and David Benavidez are going to fight.
Yeah.
Is that a fight that you're...
Oh, got it. Yeah. Well, the story with he and I was, I met him when he was a kid, and he told me, I'm going to be a world champion someday, and you know, and then I run into him and he's a world champion. You know, that's happened to me so many times, usually with MMA fighters, not boxers. That's when I was sort of kicking the tires of boxing, and yeah, yes, I will watch that fight.
Quote, I don't want to fight someone who doesn't mean something for my career. And the best out there now is David Morrell.
I see him coming up to 175. He's talking a lot of shit. So I'm going to shut his ass up. And also, it would be a bigger pay-per-view if we wait later. His name is not that big, but, you know, I don't...
They just talk the way you want your fighters to talk. They're all about the smoke. They want to fight everybody. It seems like whoever would win the Morrell-Benavidez fight get the shot. But at the end of the day, we got a guy who wants to fight.
David Morrell is so good. David Morrell is a high-risk, low-reward fighter. You have to overpay people to step in the ring with him. If you don't overpay him, you won't get him in the ring. It's as simple as that, Jack. So, David Morrell going in 2024, one of the most exciting fighters, got an exciting style. Has a fan base in Minnesota. You know, that's the knock on the Cubans. No international distribution on the Cuban feed because they don't show the fights. Has a fan base in Minnesota. Now we need to see the fights. Vladimir Shishkin, Christian Mbili. Any of those guys on the back end of the top 10, I want to see them in with him.